Welcome to this podcast for Brighton School of Business and Management students studying for the Btec Level 5 courses. For this unit, you will need to satisfy the criteria exactly as laid down in the assignment brief and as described here, but you should, wherever possible, use examples from your own organisation and business sector, as well as showing evidence of having studied the unit topics in depth and breadth by referring, where appropriate, to relevant models, theories and established best practices. To enhance your understanding of these assignment issues, we strongly advise that you also discuss them with operational and senior managers and event, hospitality and catering specialists within your own organisation. And also be sure to read all the supplementary articles included in your study material. Each section should be approximately 400 words. This is flexible up to around 500 words, not including graphics or illustrations, so you will need to keep your responses focused on what is being specifically asked for in each section. Section 1. Here you need to discuss the fact that hospitality industry covers a wide range of diverse businesses, private sector, public sector, some very large, some very small, some part of chains, and most types and sizes in between. You need to summarise, that is, give an overview of the scale and diversity of the whole industry, covering events, hotels, restaurants, banqueting, conferencing, inward tourism, etc. And look at numbers employed in the sector and subsectors, gross turnover and so on. For bullet point 2, you need to give some comparisons of organisational structure. For example, you could explain the management and operational structure of a privately owned small hotel compared to a chain of hotels with a headquarters and a number of hotels in different divisions, for example motorway, city centre, country inns, national and international, or you could perhaps compare a conference centre and a small restaurant. Section 2. Here you need to identify and describe a range of recent developments and trends, and then discuss one of those main developments or trends in more depth, explaining why it is in line with contemporary or similar changes in the business world and in people's social and home lives. On bullet point 2, you need to discuss some of the main operational and managerial impacts that the issues you described under bullet point 1 will have on the leisure and hospitality business at operational and management levels. For example, customers will be more knowledgeable before they arrive, they will also expect high levels of service on and offline, and they will expect the venue, accommodation and facilities to be reasonably modern, well connected, etc. Finally, you need to give some examples of the different pressures and issues affecting operational staff, for example waiting, kitchen and housekeeping and reception staff, and compare this with how these issues will impact on management. For example, last-minute bookings, electronic booking systems, managing a high-technology establishment infrastructure, and so on. Section 3. Here you need to research the changes taking place in the roles and responsibilities of operational, specialist and managerial staff, those occurring across all sectors of the industry, such as the increased emphasis on professional qualifications and the need to be computer literate, and also highlight some of the changes occurring in niches and narrow specialist sectors, such as those involved in marketing. Following on from the previous bullet point, you will need to forecast and discuss the likely implications of those predicted changes on each group of stakeholders, such as directly on operational staff, managers and owners, and indirectly on suppliers, shareholders, local and national communities, and of course the customers. Section 4. For this section you need to research and list current trends that are expected to continue and predictions of imminent or near future changes, for example in areas such as internet usage, changes in travel destinations, increased use of technology in service areas, demographic changes in customer profiles and so on. Then explain in depth the underlying reasons for the predicted trends and developments that you have identified. And end with data and information gathered from your research sources which provide evidence that the potential trends and developments are likely to happen. Don't forget that you also need to add a list of sources of information and references showing any books, websites, articles, case studies, reports, internal documents and people interviewed that you drew on in order to complete this assignment. The sources of information and references are not included in your word count. Here is a list of websites that you should find useful when completing this assignment. And if you need any further help or assistance with this assignment, please contact your tutor.